So you want to be a dungeon master?
So, you wanna be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a DM?
Name some feats, okay? Feats.
So you want to be a DM?
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're going to be taking a look at homebrewing your own monsters. As a dungeon master, there eventually will come a time when the monster manual or even a third-party book doesn't meet the type of baddie that you're trying to evoke. Now, there's altering an existing monster or creating a brand new one. And where will we pull inspiration from? So many questions. So put on your goggles and your gloves, whip out that notebook, and let's make some monsters.
Let's do it.
But first, always got to be but first, double question extravaganza.
Whoa!
Number one. That's right. Number one. What is a villain from media that you think is underrated or underappreciated or less known about them or something? I don't know.
Yeah. So I was thinking about kind of comic book villains and stuff, and I think the one that really kind of gets cast, at least in earlier media, as kind of a bumbling idiot that's actually really strong is Mysterio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good depiction of him in the newest Spider-Man.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
The Jake Gyllenhaal version of it was pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty haunting at times.
Yeah.
Final scene.
I think that's really kind of was tapping into the real essence of Mysterio. I know in the comic books he's written to be kind of comic booky and silly and all that, what have you. And I think that kind of does him a disservice as a character a little bit, just because of how absolutely mind-numbingly powerful he can be.
Yeah.
He uses, because it's not just like in the original, like in the comic books and stuff, it's not like drones and whatever. He's using like chemicals and weird projectors and all kind of other crazy stuff to make his illusions look and feel real. I don't know. It's really cool, dude. I think he might actually know magic too. I don't know if that's canon or not.
Beats me, man. Comic books get so complicated when you start to peel back the layers. But I do love Mysterio. Very cool character. I went in a different route. I chose a very specific villain from a movie. 1979's The Warriors is one of my favorite movies. It oozes vibes. It's so good. I love this movie. Just it is truly like a New York City kind of movie too. Like they're trying to get back to so the Warriors are a street gang. They go to this big meeting. It doesn't happen often, but every single gang in New York City is meeting at one spot, right? And there's this one guy named Cyrus, and he's like the de facto leader of all gangs, you know? He's like the Jimmy Hoffa. Like everybody respects him, like just looks up to this guy, you know? No matter which gang you come from. But then here comes our villain, Luther. Belongs to a gang called the Rogues. Talk about a D&D reference. I know.
Wow.
Luther shoots Cyrus, kills him, blames it on literally shoots him, and then goes, "It was the Warriors," and blames the Warriors. The Warriors spend the rest of the movie trying to make it back to Coney Island, and that's the movie. And throughout the movie, there's like this omniscient, but also like in-world radio DJ, this like foxy kind of woman who's talking on a microphone and is like, "Well, it looks like the Warriors just made it past Greenwich Village and they're on their way." It's like so funky and cool. The music that plays is amazing. It's like very of that era, 1979. Like, come on. And they fight all these different gangs along the way. Like one of the gangs that they fight, and they have themes. Like these different gangs have themes. And when I say themes, loose as hell. One time they fight a gang where they paint their faces weird colors. and then they're baseball players and they have bats and they fight them. And then they fight a different gang that rides around on
Sure.
roller skates in subways. Like the weirdest things, but it's so fun. Highly recommend. And that's where we get that famous line from cinema of
Come out.
warriors come out to play. That's Luther.
Mm.
He's tapping his fingers, that each finger is in like a Coke bottle, and he's tapping them together as he's saying it real creepily once they finally get to Coney Island. Because, of course, Luther and the Rogues have beat them there. They've
Right.
been thwarting them and kind of like trying to sabotage the Warriors every step of the way. I've been
Right.
following them. So the reason I love Luther and the Rogues is because they're on the shadows. They don't directly confront them until the very end and then kind of get their asses kicked. And I kind of like this idea of from a story standpoint. Obviously, as an actual person, Luther's a piece of shit. But like, so this isn't one of those like, oh, like Killmonger, at least he was making a point.
Right.
This is like, no, this guy's an actual just a dick. I hate him as a person. I just, as a story trope element villain, I like him because he's one of those villains that's very weak and frail and stupid, but is like, hey, I'm swinging. Like, I'm not trying to get hit. I'm not trying to get into actual fisticuffs. I'm just masterminding a plan over here to get people killed in different ways and have other people do my dirty work for me, and very puppet mastery. I love that. So that was my choice for that one. Now, second question.
Question.
This is a double question extravaganza.
Whoa.
I know. Again. What is a D&D monster that you think is underrated or forgotten or doesn't get a lot of cred?
Okay,
Like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So this one was tough because I love all monsters equally. I'm just kidding. No, but I think the hobgoblin doesn't get a lot of love. I think it's got because it's got goblin in the name, people kind of associate it with being like weaker, whatever. But I mean, the captain and the warlord and stuff, I mean, we're talking, decent 3 to 6 challenge rating. This is a good encounter for a lot of your mid-game content because the big thing about these guys is that they're intelligent. They move in like packs and like battalions and stuff. Like
they're pretty militaristic, if
right.
assuming you're going even remotely like the lore in the books.
Right, exactly. These guys are more organized than goblins and stuff like that. Maybe not as strong. I didn't look specifically at like an orc is this about the same. Like actually probably a little bit weaker, but like these guys are, like I said, it's a really good kind of either kind of a war scenario or just patrols or coming across a big group of them. They're pretty GD strong and they attack in force, and you throw a spellcaster or two with them and they're trouble.
Hell yeah. Yeah, hobgoblins are sick. That's a good one. I chose the black pudding.
Hell yeah.
Because I think oozes get shit on all the time, rightfully so to a certain degree, but also I just think that like black puddings are potentially crazy. It depends on the level of the party, and it depends on the size of the room that they're in, because oozes notoriously are slow.
Yes.
It's their biggest downside. Black pudding, we got a speed of 20 feet, not the worst. But we're talking blind sight out to 60 feet, which is incredible. Immune to acid, cold, lightning, and slashing. I'm looking at the 2024 black pudding, and so that take this with a grain of salt. But strength is 16, con is 16, everything else is 6 or below. But still, amorphous can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch, so they're getting into rooms.
Yeah.
It's sneaking into rooms. It's a corrosive form. Anytime that you hit it, you're taking acid damage. And your weapon is potentially becoming damaged as well.
Right.
It has a dissolving pseudopod, so it's doing damage to your armor. All of those things can be undone with mending or other such spells. And obviously it can split into multiple pieces. When I think of a black pudding, I think sometimes it's easy to make them, seem silly.
Uh-huh.
But man, what is muck if not a black pudding in many
Right.
regards, right? So I think I gotta show some love here
Yeah.
for my boy. So that's where I went. I went black pudding.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. So that means we have to talk about the Patreon. Gang,
Yeah.
get into that Patreon. What are you doing out here? It's cold out here. Get in here where it's nice and warm in the Patreon. Thank you so much. We've got all kinds of incredible, heartwarming content. It's like chicken noodle soup for the DM soul. What else taglines do I have in my back pocket? No, seriously, all jokes aside, it supports us a ton if you become a member of the Patreon. We have stuff there for free, but there's a lot of really cool stuff, even at just the $2 level. So check it out. It would mean the world to us. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Back to the episode.
Let's do it.
Okay. So today we're talking about monsters. We're talking about making monsters, right? We're talking about creating monsters. Obviously, we have the monster manual. We have third-party books, Tome of Beasts from Kobold Press. I've talked about plenty. There's there's so many books out there, that you could just Google
Right. Yeah.
monster books that use D&D as a reference point or as the system, and you can find a bajillion things. You can go on Pinterest and find things. Probably you could go on Reddit and find people's homebrew stuff. Like you'll find a million things. Here's what I will say when it comes to finding random homebrew on like something like Reddit or something. Just because somebody used a parchment background and like red text and all of the little things to make it look like official material doesn't mean it's official material, and it doesn't mean it's balanced. Trust your DMs look things over, you know what I mean? Or DMs, really trust yourself. Like you're the one who's going to be looking these things over. So you got to have a discerning eye. Speaking of a discerning eye, I hope you don't discern how bad some of these homebrews are going to be that we're about to look into. Because I have two of my personal homebrew monsters here with us in the building tonight. And we're going to interview them and see how they are.
No way. I want an autograph.
Yeah, first up, just fresh off of their time in Hollywood, we have the Harpoon Spider.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go in the other room.
Oh, okay. Well, in the other room, you're in luck because we have the Celestial Warriors known as the Chianza.
Okay, cool.
So,
that's better than giant spider with harpoon in the name. Oh my god.
Giant spider with harpoon in the name. Well, let's take a closer look.
Let's look at this harpoon spider, huh?
This specialized arachnid hunter has evolved to perfect their craft in their underground cavernous environment. Harpoon spiders are very sparing when it comes to leaving webs in places that its prey will see it. Instead, it would rather cling and hide among the stalactites so that it truly will surprise its victims. The harpoon spider gets its name from its specialized ability to shoot web at such ferocity that it acts like a harpoon able to pierce armor and shields. In this way, the spike-riddled spider can attack its prey at a distance and avoid getting into melee range. And then there's a note here from, I think, Jasper, who wrote this article. And it just says, "Now I love spiders, but I'm a freak. This one is a real hoot. I don't fully understand how its web can puncture metal, but gosh dang it, it's cool." Jasper seems like the type of person who would unironically say the word when they're describing like a cute little cat or a cute little picture of like a mushroom, like a tiny mushroom, would unironically use the word smol, SMOL, like a meme. But they wouldn't be doing it for the meme's sake. They would be like, no, it was small.
A little small little guy.
Small.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's sidetrack. So, Taylor, we got the harpoon spider here.
Yeah.
Now, you're looking at some artwork. This artwork is like copyright free and everything like that. I will say that for just our own sake. It's on the outlines. but we're looking at a CR4. It is a large beast. It is, now that's an interesting choice. I chose to make it a beast and not a monstrosity. So that's interesting because CR4, there's a world where moon druids can turn into this. So keep that in mind. Now it's a pretty high level.
Right. Yeah.
They have to be like level 14, 13 or something because or level 12. It's 3 times your CR level. Yeah. So level 12. But we're looking at an AC of 14, 45 hit points, 30-foot walk and climb speed. Pretty basic. Dexterity is the highest skill. Constitution and strength right behind that. Intelligence and charisma really, really low. Wisdom pretty average. All right. We have some proficiencies in strength and dex saves, as well as stealth. This was in my era of I was giving monsters across the board, I think, advantage, like proficiencies and things. Because I always thought that was sometimes annoying where it was like, obviously you see it sometimes when a monster gets like a proficiency in a skill, but you don't see it often. And so I was like, I'm going to do that more often. So they're really good at stealth, which makes sense. That's their whole bag. They have 10 feet of blind sight, not a ton, but they have 60 feet of dark vision, no languages, spider climb, web sense, web walker, all the obvious spider things, right? Didn't have to even really decide that much there. So from the creative process, what I will say, I'm making a spider.
Yeah.
I looked at other spiders and I said, what do they got? Okay, they have spider climb, they have web webs, they have web walker. I added all those in.
Right.
So pretty basic, same thing with like, what do I put for languages? I looked at what D&D did and I was like, okay, if it doesn't have languages, you put dashes there, got it. Or you put NA, like you figure it out.
So the one thing that I would say that maybe doesn't make sense for this particular spider is web sense. Because up in the like the lore text of it, you say that they don't use a lot of webs because they want to hide.
Correct. They don't use a lot of webs, but they would still be able to detect something that's touching a web. But that's not their fighting style. So I think like being a spider means that they still use webs. It's just not their mode of trapping.
Okay.
So they might use a web to like create their home. So then it's like, if you step in my home, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to know. But I'm not necessarily, that's not how I trap my food.
Right. I gotcha.
I think is the vibe there. But I see what you're saying. I take the criticism. Thank you. May I have another? But we also have spiny body, which is a really basic one. A lot of monsters, like again, I took this from other monsters that exist in the monster manual that have spiky bodies, and they have an ability called
spiky body.
Yeah, spiky body or spiny body or something like that. But yeah, at the start of its turn, you deal 2d4 piercing damage to any creature that's grappling it. That makes sense. You can't grapple it without taking a little bit of damage. Makes sense. Easy peasy. It's just a passive thing. And then we have actions. You either can make a bite attack, a harpoon attack, or a web attack. I did not give them any kind of multi-attack because most, if not almost all spiders don't have multi-attack. It is one of the shortcomings of spiders in terms
doesn't make
of
sense because they have
higher level stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously you can change that. It's an easy change, and then he makes it a CR5. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. But as it stands, we just have the bite attack. It's a +7 to hit. Pretty gnarly. 1d12 +3 piercing damage, and then DC 13 con save, or you take extra poison damage. If the poison reduces you to 0, the target is stable but poisoned, and then it really just follows the line of a lot of other spider poisons. And then you get the harpoon. This is a ranged attack, +8 to hit. Now we're doing 2d8 +4 piercing damage. Now, what I can tell from my own growth as a DM and as a home brewer and stuff, I can tell that I'm kind of making up damages here. These damages are kind of all over the board.
Yeah.
Like I'm +4 comes from the fact that our dexterity is an 18 and that's a +4. So like there's parts of it that make sense. But why is it a 2d8 whereas the bite is a d12 and then 3d10 poison damage? Like, where am I getting these numbers from? How do I know that this is in line with what a CR4 is? It feels like they're a little all over the place. That's my own criticism.
CR4 doing 30
But
damage is a lot. That's a lot for a CR4.
gnarly as hell.
Yeah.
Gnarly as hell. Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the AC and the hit points are very CR4.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it is like, oh, the damage is actually pretty gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for one attack a turn,
Yeah.
But yeah, then you get a strength contest with the harpoon if you hit, and then it can pull you up to 30 feet towards it, which is really cool ability. I like that a lot. I maybe would change a little bit of the wording here and figure it out, but overall. And then obviously you get the web ability. So this is pretty much copy paste from any other spider.
Yeah.
So overall, what do we think about it?
I think it's good. The only real note that I have about it is the damage. I think 3d10 on a bite is wild for a CR4 specifically. Because it's also a D12 plus 3, so it's also actually that's closer to like 40. Max damage is 45. That's crazy. That's death. That's death for a fourth level player. I mean, not full death, but I mean that's all of their hit points immediately.
It could be.
Yeah,
it absolutely could be for sure. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Because I'm just comparing like specifically to like a level like a CR4 to a level 4 player, and yeah, 45 points of damage in a turn is either they're done or they're lit on death's
or they're
door.
close to done. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
But other than that, I think I like it. I like the harpoon ability. That's a lot of fun. I would have a lot of fun with that as a DM, especially in conjunction with the web ability.
Yeah. I think there could be a way to rework how this works. Like I think you could add in the bite attack, maybe nerf the bite attack big time, but have there be a bite attack because of course there is.
Honestly, that 3d10 needs to be like either a d10 or like 2d6 or something like that.
I think a d10 would make sense. But even then, it's like, why is it a d10? Like what? Because we have a D12 for the bite. I would have to go back and look at other spiders and kind of get a little bit of a ballpark feel. But something about the bite is nerfed. Harpoon stays the same. Maybe even make it to the harpoon where it's like, if that works, you get a bonus action attack, like a bonus action bite attack.
Yeah.
So it's like you can boom, boom, and then bite in one attack, which could be really gnarly, but you have to hit with the harpoon. Otherwise, you can't do it. So that could be something similar to how like some animals have like the charge, and then you can use a hoof attack or a gore attack. It'd be something like that. So that's okay. The harpoon spider. That's what we got. Pretty cool. Okay. Moving on. We have the Chionsa. Now,
where does his name come?
I want to know, Taylor. I want to know so fucking bad. It is the Korean Chionsa is the Korean word for angel.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I found it because this is a celestial.
Sure. Looks very celestial.
These celestial warriors, Taylor, thank you. Thanks so much. These celestial warriors are usually given charges of protecting artifacts, guarding holy temples, or in times of war. These angelic beings stand out from their celestial counterparts because of their jet black skin contrasting their golden armor and hair. Like other angels, however, their vision of good is so black and white, so lawful, that they can come across as cold and calculating. They wield large shields and javelins with spear tips that can harness sunlight. These are the Chionsa.
Okay. What challenge rate were I? CR of 8. I like that.
Looking at a CR of 8 with these guys. Medium celestials.
AC of 20, like that. 92 hit points. Medium on that. I feel like might be a little low for an 8, but I could be wrong. I need to reference some other CR8s to know for
Yeah,
sure.
it depends on how much damage they're putting out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's low if they are not putting out a ton of damage, but if they're putting out good damage, then it's fine, I think.
Right. Okay.
Because their AC is so high too. It would be like, because the CR8 like spellcaster, I mean, yeah, we're talking about like at least 6 level spells, but their AC would be so low, their health would be pretty
Right.
low. So it kind of
Right. Yeah.
depends. We need to, yeah.
Flying speed, walking speed to 30 feet, flying speed to 60 feet, like that. Um, essentially free dash
Whoa,
is
stats are
what
rogue.
is what I'm seeing. I kind of see where you're coming from with the stats because it is like a celestial type being, so it's supposed to be from like these outer planes and be a little
I
bit
know.
stronger. Strength of 21, Dex 18, 19 con, 16 intelligence. I feel like that should be higher just because religion is an intelligence check. Wisdom of 20, charisma of 21. Yeah, I mean, you already went balls to the wall for the other ones. Why not make that 16 and 18?
Yeah. Plus, like the thing about making your stats like this, though, as a monster, is that like honestly, with the exception of some things, it doesn't break it that much.
No, it doesn't.
Having stats like really good across the board like that doesn't really do too much because we're still not really like min maxing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they're all kind of just good,
Right.
which is good. It's better than nothing. But like I still only give the proficient saving throw things to 2 skills.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still only getting
So
a wisdom
it's
+9 saving throw and a charisma +9 saving throw. And the rest are just strength 21, very strong. Still just a +5 to strength saves
mm-hmm.
or athletics checks.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still not that groundbreaking. It looks crazy because you're like, shit, a 21, an 18, a
Right,
19. You're
right,
like,
right.
Jesus. But when you really like math it out, it's like actually not that
It's not
crazy.
that crazy. Yeah. Because it's
Um,
not like it's a player where you're getting 5 million skill proficiencies too. It's not like because like +5 plus proficiency on an athletics check is crazy. That's really
mm-hmm.
good. But
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
straight up +5, I mean, most players can beat
It's
that.
good, but it's
Yeah.
not like the most
Yeah.
insane thing ever.
If you were
Yeah,
talking about a grappler style character, they're beating that +5
I
almost every time.
know. That's the thing is most monsters don't have proficiencies in any
Mhm.
saves.
Right.
So you're like, okay, thank God I have a +7 in strength. Otherwise, this would suck, you know? But okay, so for we have some damage resistances. Radiant, obviously, that one makes sense.
Mhm.
Maybe could have been an immunity. Well, that's a kind of fine point. Um,
Yeah.
and then also we got the piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning from non-magical weapons, which I think makes a ton of sense. Condition immunities,
Definitely.
charmed, exhausted, frightened. Those all kind of make sense to a certain degree, right? Dark vision out to 120 feet, knows all languages and has telepathy of 120 feet. And yeah, and then we get into some of the traits and abilities, passive things
Yeah.
such as having angelic weapons. So all of your weapon attacks are magical. When they hit, they deal extra damage, but that's included in the attack. Yeah, dude.
An extra lot of damage.
4d8. Yeah,
Holy
4d8
crap.
radiant damage. So potential extra 18.
See, but now
Um,
we're at a higher challenge rating. I feel like this is acceptable. I still think that's a lot, but at level 8
oh yeah.
or higher would be fine.
Yeah.
At least for
Um,
a hit or two. And let's be honest, this is one of those things that this combat's less than 5 rounds.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to say the
Mm,
least. But so next we have the Javelin of Justice.
mhm.
You can innately cast the daylight or the light spells onto their javelin at any time using a bonus action. Um, and then it talks about how it's like a returning javelin. It returns to his hand over and over again.
Nice.
And if you're hit by the javelin, you must make a wisdom saving throw. DC 18. I throw out this like impossibly high AC DC for no reason other than I want you to fail to this, which is what I'm reading as future Justin reading past Justin. Is what I'm reading is like, oh, that's a fun thing. I want them to fail to that. Um, But then you become under the zone of truth spell for 1 minute,
Yeah.
which is just a random passive thing that's like kind of silly. And they also get magic resistance, which does make sense.
Mhm.
So then we get into actions. We're talking about 2 attacks with their javelin.
Nice.
The javelin is either melee or ranged.
Hmm.
I have given it a pretty solid throw range here where it's 60
60
feet,
to
but
240. I
240.
like the long range on that. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of goad the person into being like, make those throws at disadvantage. Why not?
Hmm.
Um, +9 to hit, so pretty solid. And then 2d6 plus 5 piercing damage plus 4d8 radiant damage. So
Mm.
30 damage on a
Hmm.
single hit potentially. Um, you know, pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then also gets a
Again, my
shield bash that can knock people prone, and 3 times a day can healing touch and do
mm,
a very sizable amount of healing.
yeah. This would make for a um very interesting fight in general. What was I gonna say about so again, the thing that I keep coming back to is like these are big numbers, but I feel like this is how you make a melee combatant scary without going over the top. Like the multi attack and all this stuff, you're getting, like I said, this combat because of his health and all of that, like I mean, it's only got 92 hit points. Really, and
Yeah,
honestly,
he's not
if
like resistant to a million types of damages or even
right,
there's so many different ways to tackle this fight.
yeah, that
Um,
I think he's not getting a whole lot of turns. He's gonna be intimidating as hell. And it's gonna be really
because
scary.
when he hits, it's gonna suck.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this guy is coming down pretty quick if your players focus on it.
No doubt. Yeah. Especially if they're creative with like once they realize the AC is pretty high,
Mm-hmm. And
which they should know because he's
start
literally
saving throw
carrying
the
a
crap
shield
out of
and
him. Yeah.
yeah, then they can start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So how do we feel about it?
I like it. I like it. I think it's a very fun, like I said, it's a good scary melee character, which sometimes I fall into the melee people are my cannon fodder while I sit back with my spellcasters and actually do some shit. This
Hmm.
is an intimidating melee fighter.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Especially if you like at the higher levels because they have healing touch.
Hmm.
They're healing each other.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Multiple
But
of them
luckily it takes
together
their whole
would be,
action. But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that would
Multiple of
be
them together would be
insane.
rough.
Yeah. Whoa. So okay. That is looking at some monsters, reviewing them. Now we're gonna get into tweaking some monsters.
Sure.
So now we're trying to tweak this monster that we're going to take a look at, and we're going to essentially make it our own.
Okay.
So we are looking at a 2024 adult blue dragon here,
Okay.
freely available on D&D Beyond.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So now the question is, before we get into how we're going to change it, the question is, what are we trying to change it into?
That's a
Is there
very good
anything that
question.
comes to mind in terms of creating a monster using a dragon, a lightning dragon blueprint?
Hmm.
Is there any monster ideas that come to mind? Um,
Um, the
hmm,
only thing that comes to mind right now is a summon from it's Final Fantasy VIII
hmm
of Quetzalcoatl, which is uh mythical. I think it's a from Mexico of
hmm
a mythical lightning bird that
Yeah,
controls
yeah,
the
yeah.
lightning. I think that is very fun kind of tweak on this and have it be some kind of protector of a sacred relic or something. I think
Yeah,
like it,
I think that would work.
like the party has to go into a um I'm assuming like an open air mountaintop temple
Mm,
and secure this thing. It's like I'm imagining a bunch of different bridges and stuff, and they have the cross, and then they finally get to the final platform where the thing is, and then giant bird comes over.
hell yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see something like that. Or you could even have it end, the bird comes out, surprises everybody, and then it's kind of like Avatar The Last Airbender when Aang
Mm-hmm.
and Zuko dance with the dragons, but
Yes.
you're dancing with these
Mm-hmm.
massive, because also in indigenous people, mainly like Native North American specifically, the Thunderbird, an
Mm-hmm.
absolutely massive bird that controls storms and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is said to create thunder by flapping its wings, according to Algonquin traditions. Flashing its eyes creates lightning, all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a really fun and interesting one as well. Obviously, with the dragon, I mean, we keep the speed, we keep almost everything until we start getting into some things like languages. Okay, you take draconic off, I guess, like, but who cares? That's
Yeah.
fucking so basic. Um, Legendary
I would
resistances.
give it.
Okay, we could.
What languages would you give it other than common?
I would
It's a
give it
bird.
primordial. If we were getting
Primordial.
really
Okay.
specific, I would even go so far as to pick the air one. I forget what it's called. Orin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A U
Yeah.
R
Yeah.
A N, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, so
Okay.
then I
Yeah, I like that.
would give it. It looks like it's got a bunch of spells here that it has ability for. It can make 3 rend attacks, or it can replace one of its spells with the cast of Shatter. That's fucking insane. So yeah, I'm gonna give it that because that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. So now we just have to talk about the lightning breath. Well, and that can
Yeah.
just be a flavor thing, dude. Or you can like, okay, it's a 90-foot long, 5 foot, it's a line.
Yeah, I mean, let's just replace that with the chain lightning spell. Recharge on a 5 and 6. Say roughly the same amount of damage, and you can do fun stuff with it.
Done. Done. Chain lightning, done.
Chain chain lightning is on its own special part of the spell list where it's chain lightning recharge 5 or 6,
Five
and
or
then
six. Yeah, exactly.
call it
Yeah, that's
there.
so easy. Legendary actions, they have cloaked flight, sonic boom, and tail swipe. All of those kind of make sense. Maybe you rename tail swipe into claw swipe, like whatever. You know what I mean?
Talon
Wing
strike.
swipe. Yeah, it's like, but then there you go. We've done it. We're already done. We literally took an adult blue dragon and turned it into a massive lightning storm bird.
Hmm.
And it took 2 seconds, and we barely have changed anything.
So let's talk about possible lair stuff
Let's talk about lair stuff. I mean,
because
whoa.
like
If we're talking
dragon
about with
lairs are
this
crazy.
ideas, yeah, if we're talking about what we already have in the works, this
Hmm.
like Thunderbird,
Hmm.
yeah, I am definitely I'm picturing open like the Badlands or like, like Utah, New Mexico, just like
Hmm.
deserty
Right.
mesas and stuff and red mountains
Yeah, I
and
definitely
things.
like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like the idea of the raised kind of like the plateau areas.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of got those weird rock formations
Oh yeah, yeah,
all over the
yeah.
place, and there's just kind of like bridges and stuff that go across the different
Yeah.
mountains.
Yeah, like very Grand Canyon-y and kind of just
Hmm.
like that sort of setup is where I'm picturing. So then in that regard, like where is the layer itself, the specific layer? I mean, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for this very specific cryptid. And what I will say is that it doesn't have anything super specific in terms of like this is where it lives
Right.
on here,
I kind of
but
I kind of like the idea of one central kind of pillar that everything's kind of connected to, and it's like
Just
just
impossibly
an
tall
yeah, it's super
to climb
tall.
it.
There's these big spires on the corners that is part of. I was thinking of a layer action, but there's these big spires on the corner that you can, as a layer action, it like conducts lightning. They're like metal,
Mm.
they're like lightning rods that it
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
conduct lightning onto the thing. And it's just as far as the like room itself, big wide room, maybe a plinth or altar or something in the middle, and then everything else is
Hell
wide
yeah.
open.
Yeah, that
Open
sounds
air,
sick.
super high in the sky.
It's like a lair action call lightning.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a lair action gust of wind of some
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah,
similar
yeah, yeah,
effect. You could
yeah.
do making people go prone because the thunder is booming.
Mm-hmm. Or
Boom.
some kind of a earth shake ability type of
Yeah,
deal.
pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Yeah, we nailed it.
Bang. Layer. There you go, gang.
Gang, it's so
Get in
easy,
the
gang.
Patreon.
There's so many
There's
different
so many good
things.
ideas in there, gang.
We're
You
doing
gotta check
so
it out.
much. And look at, and here we go. Now we're gonna create a monster from scratch.
Oh, geez. Okay.
We're gonna bang it out so fast, dude. It's
Okay.
gonna
All
take
right.
us
Yeah.
5 minutes. And we're not gonna get into super specifics. I don't
Sure.
expect us to be like it has an 18 strength,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so
um,
just vibes and basic CR, basic abilities.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna pop out a monster. First, Taylor, I need you to roll a d20 to give us the
Okay.
CR level that we're going to kind of be working with as I use a random wheel generator to determine the classification of monster that we are going to be dealing
Jesus.
with.
You want a 20? Want a D20? I got
What
a
are the
7. I
chances?
got a 17.
All right.
That's a stupid high CR. I'm gonna have to go to the
Dude, it's just
freaking
vibes right now.
monster.
We're
I
not
know,
going
I
into super
gotcha.
specifics.
No,
So,
I
okay,
know,
I
but
got
like
constructs. I already
constructs,
got
like
it.
CR
I already have
17
it.
construct. Okay, go for it.
Because the next thing to help us in this endeavor, so we're talking about a construct that's CR17, and the
Hmm.
last thing that's going to help guide us
Uh-huh.
is the setting,
Sure.
which is Sphinx City.
Oh, okay.
So tell me we can't just make our own version of Statue of Liberty.
I just thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, done. Let's end the
Bang.
episode.
That's it. That's it. Bang. We're done. Don't even have to think
Holy
about it. No,
shit,
let's talk a
dude. We
little bit about
fucking did it.
let's talk a little bit about abilities and what it would mean to either A, be fighting against or alongside this giant statue. I mean, how tall is the Statue of Liberty? It's like 200 feet or some shit like that, right? How
Oh,
tall is
great
it?
question, dude. No idea. How tall that lady be? 305 feet.
305 feet. So that's a big that's a big lady. It's a big
Oh,
lady.
hold on. Hold
What?
on.
Is that including the little
Yeah, it's
plinth
including
thing?
that you fucking
How okay.
never use the AI overview. Never use it. Oh, you absolute goon. Um, we're talking 151.
151. Okay.
We're talking
Still
a
very
Bacardi
tall.
151. She's about a Bacardi 151.
About that's about a Bacardi.
But yeah, no. So
Okay.
like I do think that's a
Okay.
crazy idea. It makes me think of Waterdeep. They have the walking statues of
Right.
Waterdeep. They just are kind of frozen until you activate them,
Hmm.
and then they become a construct that is actually has
Right.
stats and can move around.
Right. Right.
This could
Right.
be that. It could be a
Hmm.
defense mechanism of Sphinx City for those kaiju level moments. And now we have Pacific Rim,
Nice.
uh, and we're good to go.
Okay.
So that's definitely a strong starting idea. I think that's
Hmm.
genuinely sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's do one more really quick.
Okay.
And then I think based on we started at 147. So we still have a little bit. So so other than she's big and strong and can
Hmm.
move around, like what
Right.
else is unique about this person? Also, I
Um.
would say, like, obviously our version is different. It's not literally going to be called the Statue of Liberty because I
Mm,
got to put some kind of either pun or something silly with it,
mm,
or at least like play with the word liberty and just find another word for it or
Right.
something. Or
Right.
so
It's
yeah,
still
like
given by the French. I think that's a funny. I think having France in real, like in Sphinx City setting, like just actual France, is funny. Um,
Miss Freedom Fry.
yeah. Um,
God.
so I just something else that I think is just really funny that I think would be hilarious to see. If I ever saw this in a movie, I would die laughing. Is just the Statue of Liberty taking the torch and smacking like a helicopter out of the sky, and then eye beams, laser
Mm,
eye beams.
like a fucking Zord. Like at this point, we're getting pretty close to Zords. And let's continue with this thought. Okay,
Okay.
so we already have one. We have the Statue of Liberty or whatever
Mhm.
we choose to call
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it is a fucking massive defense mech
Hmm.
in situations where the mayor may need to call into action or
Hmm. Hmm.
something. And
Right.
we'll have to figure out the details of like who controls it. That's like lore questions. But then
Right.
also like
What does
yeah,
it
like
actually
some of
do?
it will be mechanic though. Like is it like an item that you need to be in possession of? Is it programming like of controlling it? Like how do you get to
Right.
control it? How does this
Right, right,
work?
right.
For the black staff with water deep, it is pretty specific. It's like a specific spell that she only the black staff is in possession of. So it's like interesting in that way. So we would have to figure
Right.
that out. But here's another idea. What about same line, CR17 construct? One of the big ass ferries that take people from like what is essentially New York City to Staten Island and different places and stuff like that. Those huge free ferries.
Yeah.
What if that was a massive transformer? And then, because I'm cooking with gasoline here,
Uh-huh.
what if you had one of those that was sunk, like it was out of commish, they sunk it, it
Uh-huh.
rises again, an undead construct fairy that is now a mech, an undead mech construct covered in
Mm.
algae and anchors
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
octopi and weird sucker fish is like coming out of the water and is now this like swamp thing but mechanical
This
and
sounds like a Legion of Doom plot. Like this sounds like something that the big
hell yeah,
bads are trying to do. Like they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna distract the town by making this giant freaking mech come up out of the water.
hell yeah, and
I
it
like it.
fights
Uh,
Lady
it
Liberty
fights Lady Liberty. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they
Mhm.
they have to go toe to toe. I'm telling you, dude, there's something there. There's something there. I will say if we rolled even one more time, see, I
Mhm.
got a 10. That's much more reasonable than your
Okay.
17. And I got beasts. That's going to be a hard one too, is
Oh
because what kind
gosh.
of beasts
Most
are a
beast.
CR10? I think a T
Yeah.
Rex is an 8 or
Okay.
something like that, or an elephant is an 8, or T Rex is around an 8 or 10.
Hmm.
Dang, dude,
Hmm.
that's rough. City. I mean, obviously, there's a zoo. We know that.
Right.
So you can put some gnarly animals
So
in the zoo, but
I think we're in the realm of like a megafauna situation. Like how like
oh,
a
okay.
moose is like just a megafauna version of like a deer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like I'm thinking like a megafauna predator of either like a lion or a tiger or a leopard or a big cat. Like take a big cat and make it bigger
But in
because
Sphinx City,
in Sphinx City, that's right. So it needs to be a I mean, there's a zoo there.
I know that's saying that there's a
Yeah.
zoo, so you can do it that way.
There's a zoo there.
Otherwise, it would have to be
Um,
like maybe some kind
oh,
of.
wait. Another thing that you could do is make it intelligent, is another way that you could increase the CR
I mean,
and have it
don't New York City
be,
rats get aren't they're like pretty
yeah, I mean,
notorious,
yeah, there's that.
right?
There's, I mean, your favorite things, pigeons are quasi intelligent.
They're pretty
There's
smart, I've heard.
definitely ravens and crows. Those are almost
Yeah, yeah,
like,
foxes.
mhm. So I think adding But I think more than that, giving it like a language, allowing it to speak, allowing
Ooh.
it to either walk bipedally or be just kind of just an intelligent working member of society, like Sphinx
Yeah,
City
yeah, yeah.
is, where it's just like, okay, well, this is just a beast person who is,
Oh, cool.
know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Beast folk. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that. That makes a ton of sense. Easy peasy. I think an Eladrin is a CR10, which is a joke. But
But yeah, so I
okay,
mean, do
there you
something
go.
along those lines.
And we've done it yet again, folks. My goodness. So listen, there's so many different ways to create monsters. There's so many things you can draw inspiration from: TV shows, books, movies, what have you. This probably has moved 1,000 times since I've been doing things.
Whoa.
But luckily it's attached to the laptop stand. So we all move together. But there's so many different ways to make monsters. Obviously, you can create them whole cloth from
Mhm.
scratch. And all we would have to do for that is look up a bunch of CR17. We get a soft ballpark of AC, hit points, whatever. The CRs aren't even that important. It's really just a starting point, really.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's not perfect. Like the homebrew monsters that I made, should they have been CR4 or 5 or 6 or 3 or this or that? And it's like we're at a certain point you're cutting hairs. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, like I guarantee every monster that has come out of the D&D headquarters with their monster manuals, I guarantee that the different people on the staff disagreed about what the CR should be. And
Mhm.
that's fine. So it's like not that big of a deal. The most important thing is that if you're assigning it to the CR and you're using that to determine balancing, then yeah, obviously you want to get close, but
Right.
and if you're just making this for yourself, you don't even have to fucking come up with a CR level. Eventually, you just start to be like, yeah, 20 amount of damage a turn. That sounds like a lot. Or no, that doesn't sound like a
Right,
lot.
right, right,
You'll
right.
eventually just like kind
Compare
of
it
get an
to your,
idea.
because like I mean, that's really the big thoughts that were going through my head as we were going through it. It's like, okay, if you took a player character of the same level as the CR, how much damage is that attack doing percentage wise to that player's health bar? Generally you're wanting, maybe 10 to 20% ish. But, for something really scary like that, the I think it was the Chionsa that we were talking about earlier that
Mm-hmm.
had the crazy high damage, it does really high damage, but it also doesn't have a whole lot of health. So it kind of, you
Yeah.
gotta, that's another thing to take into account is as the, as
As it balances,
as it
folks.
balances everybody,
I
like
know.
your players are going to be doing damage too. So,
Exactly, Taylor. Exactly. And that's so important. And that's so important is
mhm,
just to really make sure that you're paying really good attention to all the little finer details,
mhm, mhm,
which
mhm.
is why as per usual, Fresca is back on the scene,
No,
folks.
it's
That's
not.
Fresca
That's
bringing
all we
you
get
a
into this
frosty new
time. You can find
episode.
us on
Thank you
TikTok
so
and
much,
Instagram
Fresca.
at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at soyouwanttobeadm at gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Monster.
And now, I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Numuffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? And then there's Elijah, Molly, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.